Hello, and welcome to week 22 of my devlog. Now, this week's been fairly productive, and I wanted to show off what I've been working on. So, as part of my feature, I've been sort of getting inspired to fix a few things in other parts of the game. And one thing that I've been working on quite a while is to make a new boat. So, some of you have seen the other training boat, and this one is now a brand new boat. It's based on my friend's boat, it's a 27-foot sailboat, whom I've sailed with a bunch of times, and we can now spawn it. So I walk up to this, it gets spawned. Now, as you can see, it's actually got a few things. I'm gonna move over here as well. So, first of all, I was able to adapt the sail to become a jib sail. Now, the difference between a jib sail and the mainsail is that the mainsail is attached right along the bottom there and along the side. And then a jib sail, and this is actually probably a Genoa because it's bigger than a regular sail. It is attached at the front with a line down the middle, right to there, and then along the bottom, it's just attached with the line at the edge. So if I look over here, that should be attached to a rope. Now, this boat is floating realistically. I didn't have to do anything to get the boat working quite well. It is floating as per all of the physics. I just had to generate a new boat hull, and all of the forces are acting on it accordingly. Now, as you can tell right now, there is no wind affecting on this boat. The sail is pretending there's wind somewhere, but it's actually not driving it forward. I did add a motor to the boat, so if I jump on the boat, it will motor along. I don't really like using motors in general, but in this case, just to show off, you can start hitting the motor and it should start moving. Yeah. So what the motor is, it's a 15 horsepower, and it comes right from the bottom there, out of the bottom like a real propeller. Yeah. So one other thing that is really cool about this is that if some of you watched, I think it was the first or the second episode of my devlog, I actually had talked about wave resistance. So the boat, I'm just going to kill the motor right now. The boat will get up to its hull speed, which is the speed at which the boat actually stops. Actually, I can show it over here. The boat will create a wave that's at the front of the boat and a wave that's at the back of the boat. And what will happen is that when those two waves come into syncopation, it'll actually sink down. And that will increase a huge amount of resistance for the boat. And it'll actually slow the boat down quite a bit. Now, before, all I was doing, looks like the sun's going down, all I was doing was applying the viscous force and the drag force and pressure forces on the boat, but now it's actually doing the hull speed. So when that boat gets up to about 6 knots, it'll suddenly have a lot of force at the front, and it won't be able to get past that. There are planing boats, which are a little bit different than these types of boats, but those boats will be something I have to work with now. Well, it's getting nighttime, so I'm going to show you something else. So some of you might have noticed earlier that if you look down, I have a new thing on my chest, and that's because I've had my friend Kristy actually create a new life jacket for the game. I tried to look on the internet, but there was no good life jackets that I could see, so I've created this new life jacket with her. I took photos of my friend's life jacket, and it has turned out really well. So you can see, this is what you're going to see as a person. If you look down, you can see your life jacket. You can grab your radio, put it back, and yeah, so this is the thing that I've got. It's looking pretty good. It's kind of designed to be around a torso, so there's might be an option of adding a torso inside later. For now, probably going to have a head and then 2 floating arms. But the idea of to get an IK system going where your hands are attached, you can see people moving around, is something I'd like to do. So one thing that was really annoying me is that when I was recording these devlogs, I'd have a point where I'd be doing something, and because I can see everything around here, I'd actually cut off what I was actually doing. So for example, hitting this button, last week, you'll notice that I was sort of hitting the button and you can't really see it. So what I did is I put together frame lines, which will show you exactly from your left eye, which is how the Vive usually records, what you're seeing in the world. So for example, right now, on the left side, I can see this huge amount of space. I can see my hands down here and on the side, but what I'm actually recording is within this box. And because I'm a photographer as well, I'm used to having these kind of grid lines. And now I've actually added grid lines for the rule of thirds so I can properly position stuff while I'm shooting. The other thing I noticed is that my head was pretty crooked in some of um, the devlogs, and that really annoyed me as well. And instead of fixing it in post, what I had here is I've added a horizontal lever. Now you can see if I tilt my head back and forth, the horizon's always correct. And so then when I'm shooting, I can make sure, okay, it's not shaking around too much, and also my horizon is correct. I'm going to release this on GitHub at some point, probably in the next 2 weeks, as I perfect it, because I think it's a great thing and it didn't take me very long to make. The only drawback right now is that you actually have to render 2 cameras. So in my left-hand view, I've actually disabled the water renderer because it's quite expensive. So I just see a flat water, but in the view, you're actually seeing the proper water renderer working out. So I wanted to show the Lifejacket that Kristy modeled it after. It's looking pretty accurate. I'm really happy with it. It looks great, and she did a really good job. So this is going to be that core. We can probably change the colors at some point so people can customize themselves. You can see how the red guy is one person, and the blue jacketed guy is another. Yeah, I'm really happy about the water physics. I think it's all coming together. I just have to link up the saline physics and also link up all the rudder controls, because I broke a bunch of that stuff while I was moving to a newer system. And but yeah, it's working pretty well, and I was really impressed with the size. So I can make that boat any size, and I'll be able to transfer the physics and do all the physics correctly without doing any more additional work. So that gives you a lot of power to just make a new boat, throw it into the game, and it'll work as intended. So yeah, as always, leave me some questions, comments, and if you have any questions about that Framelines thing, happy to answer them, and hopefully I'll release that in the next couple weeks. All right, bye.